In 2022, with the COVID pandemic, climate change, and the war in Ukraine, the world presented manifold challenges to people around the globe. The more chaotic our time is, the more we need the Buddha Dharma for calm and peace. During the pandemic, to foster devotees' devotion to the Dharma, Dharma Drum Mountain continued to move forward step by step, helping people maintain peace of body and mind amid changes. In the meantime, its Sangha was constantly diligent, aspiring to use correct Buddhist teachings to inspire people's wisdom, contributing to all beings. In the second half of the year, once the pandemic started easing, its branch practice centers at home and abroad happily reopened. Their Buddhist teachings programs and Chan practice events consecutively resumed with even more energy and vigor to welcome the long-awaiting devotees, continuing their diligence on the Bodhi path. This year marked the 30th anniversary of Master Sheng Yen initiating the Protecting the Spiritual Environment campaign. A series of events and exhibitions were organized to remind the general public to practice protecting the spiritual environment in response to the challenges in this new era for all humanity and sentient beings to enjoy a peaceful future. Going through the pandemic, the world has gradually learned how to coexist with the virus. The Dharma Drum Mountain Sangha upholds Master Sheng Yen's aspiration in sharing the Buddha Dharma by making good use of digital cloud technology and adopting new modes of Dharma sharing, continuing to empower society with peace of mind. Towards the end of January, Dharma Drum Mountain's bell-ringing ceremony on Chinese New Year's Eve, like the previous year, was live-streamed with 108 soundings of the Lotus Bell as a prayer for world peace and well-being for all sentient beings. In February, Dharma Drum Mountain Sangha organized the 2022 Transmitting the Light of Dharma Assembly to mark the 13th anniversary of Master Sheng Yen's passing. All of its practice centers also performed the ritual in real time to remember the Master's teaching and kindness. Nongchan Monastery in July held a Liang Emperor's Repentance Dharma Assembly via real-time online streaming for every household to serve as a Buddha hall and everywhere as a Pure Land. From July, Taiwan started to ease its COVID measures. Dharma Drum Mountain's physical programs and events also resumed normal operations. The Dharma Drum Young Buddhist Society organized the Treasure of Awakening Children's Camp, the Cherishing the Planet Workshop, and 2-day Chan retreat for young people, combining Chan practice and Dharma learning experience to lead young people to explore their self-identity and develop their potentials. In September, the Dharma Drum Mountain Learning Center for Protecting the Spiritual Environment began operations. It provides programs for purifying people's minds and uplifting their life quality as a spiritual provision for modern people. In October, Dharma Drum Mountain held the first Protecting the Spiritual Environment Day in Hsinchu for over 1,000 families to quiet their mind and experience protecting the spiritual environment. In November, as Taiwan gradually opened its borders, the 2022 Great Compassion Water and Land Liberation Rite again took place at DDM's domestic and overseas practice centers, along with real-time online group practice, sending blessings throughout the world to all sentient beings. Meanwhile, Dharma Drum Mountain officially launched its new version of Prayers in the Cloud and used more accessible language to help people leave their incessant blessings in the universe of infinite affinities. Our publications branch this year witnessed a release of over 44 new books. The smartphone version of the complete works of Master Sheng Yen was officially put online in August, to facilitate portable practice by delving into the treasure of Buddhist wisdom. Upholding Master Sheng Yen's great vow of advancing education, Dharma Drum Institute of Liberal Arts has been established for 15 years. Over the years, with nurturing religious talent proficient in liberal arts as its mission, it aims to bring Buddhist positivity and brightness to the whole world. Having been suspended for the last 2 years, the Awakening Camp took place in mid-January. It led 87 participants to immerse themselves in experiencing religious life, vowing to help change the world for the better. In March, the Journal of Chinese Buddhist Studies won a prize awarded by the National Central Library. It was recognition of the journal's significance and influence. Dharma Drum Institute of Liberal Arts President Venerable Hui Min retired towards the end of July and handed over the position to Professor Chen Dingming, continuing to lead its liberal arts education for protecting the spiritual environment. In August, Sheng Yen Education Foundation, Dharma Drum Institute of Liberal Arts, and Zhenghua Institute of Buddhist Studies co-hosted the first academic workshop on Chinese Buddhism in 400 years via online video meeting. It led youths to jointly explore Chinese Buddhist philosophy and culture. During the workshop, it awarded prizes to 3 scholars who won the award of Sheng Yen Chinese Buddhism Outstanding Doctoral Dissertation. In face of the harsh global situation, Dharma Drum Mountain's extensive social care education endeavor continued to bring care to suffering people, for wholesome deeds to carry on without end. Starting from April, the educational grants for brightening the prospect of needy students was given out throughout Taiwan. It helped many students concentrate on their study while finding the power of mind in life. In September, Dharma Drum Humanities and Social Improvement Foundation held the Dharma Drum Mountain Caring for Life Award Ceremony and Forum, honoring award winners for setting an ideal example for the new generation and spreading the beautiful power of good in society. The Jinshan Eco-Friendly Memorial Garden has been in use for 15 years. Widely accepted by the public, it realizes Dharma Drum Mountain's ideal of life and death education. Despite the impermanent pandemic, our social care services were incessant. This year, applications from devotees for visit and care services and requests for Buddhist-style funerals and online deathbed chanting service had increased from previous years. The Social Caring Department moved beyond COVID restrictions by mobilizing volunteers from various districts to deliver online blessings. Meanwhile, it promoted a nationwide Great Matter of Life and Death program for applying a humanistic Buddhist idea to look after different phases of life. Also, in various parts of the country, care visits and emergency relief aid carried on as usual despite the pandemic. Dharma Drum Mountain continued to work closely with government agencies, social welfare organizations, and far-off rural communities to help people tackle the pandemic's challenges while extending its sympathy and hope to them. As more nations were easing their COVID restrictions, Dharma Drum Mountain also resumed its pace for global Dharma propagation, helping devotees in other countries to engage in Buddhist practice, developing in wisdom as a treasure. In May, the Vancouver Chan Meditation Center held its first in-person and online intensive Chan practice event. Zarko Andricevic, one of Master Sheng Yen's Western Dharma heirs, provided guidance via video link to meet the needs of Chan practitioners. In June, Venerable Guo Yuan was invited to travel to Mexico to lead a Chan practice activity for local practitioners, continuing the 21-year-long Dharma affinity to promote and share Chan Buddhist teaching. Venerable Guo Xing arrived in the East Coast of America in July and tirelessly traveled between various chapters and practice centers to lead Chan practice events, sharing Buddhist serenity with devotees in North America. In August, Venerable Changzhou joined the Hoibeng Buddhist Temple to host an online and offline Chan practice for 1,000 people, where the Venerable offered guidance on Chan practice for overcoming their afflictions and attaining freedom of liberation. The year 2022 saw Dharma Drum Mountain realize more spiritual cultivation and actual practice. Having been through the pandemic's challenges, Dharma Drum Mountain's monastic and lay practitioners continued Master Sheng Yen's compassionate vows with diverse modes of practice to infuse Buddhist wisdom in daily life. It continued to offer people methods of looking after the mind. After years of planning, Dharma Drum Mountain's Hualien Practice Center was officially in use. Featuring modern facilities, it will introduce more people to Buddhist practice, opening a new page for sharing the Dharma. May all people jointly generate the Bodhi mind of great aspiration to apply the Buddhist wisdom, exploring inner brightness, allowing each present moment to be firmly engaged in actions for realizing the mission to benefit self and others by working together to achieve a pure land on earth.